Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm getting ready to hike up toward the rice field shelter. You take a look at the tree there, you can see that it says the National Forest boundary tree on that. There's also a sign here that says talks about the Pine Swamp shelter on the AT being temporarily closed. Actually, it was closed, I think, like last year, maybe a year before last, due to a bunch of oak trees coming down around the shelter from gypsy moths. I mean, there was a gypsy moth infection there that was unbelievable. They didn't spray in that area because it's a what's called a wilderness area. There's several of them within the George Washington and Jefferson National Forest, probably quite a few. The Pine Swamp branch shelter sits within a wilderness area. It's called the Peters Mountain Wilderness Area, and it's a huge section of land. The AT runs through it for probably about four miles or so. This is the steps here that you see headed up toward the Pine Swamp shelter. Right now I'm on Pocahontas Road. You can see Pocahontas Road there. My white truck, you can see that parked out there. This is a cattle guard that goes across this little area right here. There's a fence here. Right on the other side of this fence is private land. That little area you see right up there where that mud puddle is, it's got a culvert running under the road, and that washed out completely here a few years ago, and they had to replace the culvert and refill the land. You couldn't even walk across there. I think they had a board on there we could walk across. Clendenin Road is out there less than a quarter of a mile. You can see a truck. I hear a truck over there. Pan over that way, you can see a big truck coming up through there on Clendenin Road. And the AT walks right across Clendenin Road, right up there at the end of Pocahontas Road. And the AT walks right along Pocahontas Road here up until you get to this cattle guard, and where it starts going up the to the rice field shelter. I'm going to keep this video going here for a little bit, and I'm going to head on up toward the shelter, and I'm going to let the video run for about 15 minutes or so, and I'm going to talk kind of as I go along. You can see my shadow here real good there on the AT. The sun's directly in back of me, so I'm going to walk on up through here. This part of the trail, of the Appalachian Trail, is part of the trail relocation that was done a few years ago. There was a 5-mile trail relocation on the AT done in this area to get the AT, or the Appalachian Trail, off of the Salinese property land. And this is part of that trail relocation. From this point here on Pocahontas Road up to the rice field shelter, it is 2 miles. So these steps that you see put in, these log steps on the AT that you see here, they're only a couple of years old. as they age, they will eventually need to be replaced, but I would say probably they will be good in the ground like this for maybe 10 or 15 years, and eventually a trail crew or a trail club will come in here and do some work on this section again. But like I say, this section was recently completed as part of that AT relocation, and it took them 3 or 4 years to complete that 5-mile trail relocation. You notice how the trail comes down off of this hill here, kind of flattens out, and then it starts going down that hill. What happens is the trail crew, they get in here and they dig out the trail. They dig out what they call side hill to make the trail flat. Otherwise, as you walk along the trail here, you'd be walking along the side of a hill, and it wouldn't be a flat surface for you to walk on. It would be like it was going downhill. So when they do relocation on these trails and work on these trails, it takes a lot of work to dig down the side hill. I'm going to put my stick out there and I'll show you. They see where it comes down here and then it gets flat here. They actually dug that down and dug that out right in here, so you'll have a flat surface to walk on as you walk along the trail. Here's a blaze. You can see on that tree, blazes are supposed to be 1 by 6. That one looks like it's a couple inches by 6. When they put the blazes down, they use it like a little stencil that's like 1 by 6, and they just put it on the side of the tree and paint down through there. It should be like a 1 by 6 when they finish. Maybe a 2 by 6. I'm not really sure, but it's long and narrow. And on the Appalachian Trail, the blazes are white. Now you can see here there's been a lot of work done here, putting in these rock steps. Some of these rocks weigh upward to 300 and 400 pounds. And I know some rocks that they use and they relocate on the trail, actually some of them get up to be 1,000 pounds or more. They use come-alongs to pull those rocks, and wood poles used as leverage, and they actually work them into position on the trail and dig them down so they'll be good and solid, and they make rock steps. The rock steps are a lot more durable than the steps that's made out of the pieces of wood. The wood will rot out after 10 years or 15 years or something like that. The rock steps will stay there pretty much forever. They may work loose, or as the ground freezes and thaws, they may tilt a little bit, but them rocks are not going anyplace other than getting a little loose and tilting a little bit. Now, this section here, all I had to do was dig out the side hill. But as you can see, they dug out quite a bit of side hill. That side hill there looks like it's about 3 foot higher than the trail. So there was some serious digging that went on right in here to get this flat trail going up through here. What happens is the trail clubs will come out and do a day or two of work every month or so, and they'll dig maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 feet of trail. And then they have the trail crews, the Appalachian Trail. They have voluntary crews, and one of the crews that they work in this area is called Connor Rock, and they work out of an office down near on Route 81 down near Marion, Virginia, which is about I don't know, 60, 70, 80 miles south of here on Interstate 81. And they have a Forest Service office down there that and they have some shelters for the Connor Rock crew to sleep in. And they also have a kitchen area where they can cook their meals. And the crews coming down there, they're voluntary crews. And if you ever want to volunteer for one of those things, you can do that. Just get a hold of the Appalachian Trail folks. You can get a hold of them on the internet or look up on the internet and get your phone number and call them and talk to them. They have voluntary crews that'll work 1 week, and then the next week they'll have another voluntary crew, and they work from sometime in the spring, maybe April 1st, up until September or October. They work for about 5-6 months out of the year. The trail crew chief and the assistant trail crew chief are paid by the Appalachian Trail folks. Here's some more nice rock steps. And other than that, everybody else on the crew is volunteer, and they work for on a weekly basis. They have some all women voluntary trail crews, and then we get trail crews from various places, and some of them are just people that have been doing this stuff for years. They come back year after year and volunteer for a week. And I'll tell you something, that trail work is some of the hardest work you ever want to do. You got to hike up the side of these mountains to the work location carrying the tools, and you also carry tents and water up, and you stay camped out near or right at the work site where you're working, and that way you can work till fairly late in the day and get up early in the morning and get a fresh start without having to drive in. I'm going to close this off now. It's past a little past 15 minutes, so hopefully I can get it to post on the internet. Please subscribe if you like my videos. Thanks.